There's no secret formula for better service throughout the customer journey. But there is the all-new Service Hub from HubSpot. It makes it infinitely easier to scale customer support and increase retention. By bringing service and support together in one powerful platform, you can deliver the best experiences for your customers and your teams. Free up time for your reps to focus on complex issues with an AI-powered help desk. Proactively drive retention with customer health scores that help keep your business ahead, stopping churn in its tracks. And give your entire go-to-market team the data they need to operate as one unified, powerful front. Also, you can easily support, strengthen, and grow your customer base. Secrets out. HubSpot Service Hub is a game changer. Visit HubSpot.com/service to do more for your customers today. Happy Friday, everybody. It's May 24th. I'm Jon Weigell here with Katherine Laidlaw and Mark Dent, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. It's a big week for the live event industry as the U.S. government filed an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation and Ticketmaster on Thursday. The long-lauded Live Nation parent company has been lambasted for years regarding ticket pricing, exorbitant fees, and having alarming control over the U.S. concert industry. So what are the details with this lawsuit, and will it end up breaking up Live Nation and Ticketmaster anytime soon? We'll get to that in a bit, but first let's give you the hits and headlines today in business and tech. Starting us off, Mondelez, which owns brands like Oreo, Cadbury, and Toblerone, was fined $366 million by the European Commission for hindering cross-border sales to keep prices high. Next, over to Nvidia. Nvidia is cranking out way more chips. The company is going to start designing new chips every year instead of biannually. This all makes sense given the company made $14 billion in one quarter thanks to those AI chips, and their stock is higher than ever. Next, over to Florida. Housekeepers in Palm Beach, Florida are reportedly making $120,000 to $150,000 a year thanks to high demand from wealthy residents and staff shortages. Staffing agencies are also seeing a spike in demand for butlers, nannies, chefs, drivers, and security guards as the mega-rich look to staff their mansions. So what do y'all think about this incredible payment structure for building staff?
I love this for them. And to be honest, $150K wouldn't be enough to hire me as a housekeeper for some of these people.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems very obvious that should be what someone is owed for essentially being on the clock all the time in somebody's house.
The idea of paying a livable wage for domestic labor, shocking.
Listen, if you got all this money and you got a house that big, yeah, you better pay up. You better pay to keep that thing. Okay, moving over to some AI news. Humane, which released its wearable AI assistant to many jeers last month, including Marques Brownlee, is reportedly seeking a buyer now, ideally one that can afford a $750 million to $1 billion price tag, so calling all Florida homeowners. If the new owner plays their cards right, they could probably score a free AI pin or two with a subscription. And finally, Bark Air, the new dog-first luxury airline, took flight for the first time yesterday. Though the New York City to LA flight sold out, it should be noted that Bark Air only sells 10 tickets at $6,000 to $8,000 on each plane. Katherine, I understand you're a dog owner. Are you one of these passengers?
So I am the sidekick to a very opinionated Dachshund. And while I am not one of these passengers, we've decided collectively as a household that we're going to wait until they offer first class tickets, and we're going to go for that.
That's great. And we reported on this maybe a month ago now, and I believe it was Ben and I, and we talked about how the plane is just kind of an open field that everybody can just run around. The dogs can run around. There's minimal seating. There's treats everywhere. $6,000 to $8,000, and they're only operating minimal flights from New York to LA as of now. So, I mean, if 10 people sold it out, I guess they got what they wanted.
It's the great dog park in the sky, is what it sounds like.
Exactly. All right, on to the main story today. We've all grit our teeth while purchasing concert tickets before. I know I have. It's the same old story of waiting in an online queue for hours and then buying tickets with large fees attached to them. We as fans have felt the sting for a while, but so have artists and performers. So now something is being done about Live Nation's control over the industry. So Mark, can you start us off here? What's happening with this lawsuit filing?
Yeah, so the United States Department of Justice, as well as more than a couple dozen states, have filed a lawsuit against Live Nation, which is parent company of Ticketmaster. And, together they're the biggest by far entertainment type of company in the United States. Live Nation owns venues. It does concert promotion and has relationships with artists and things like that. And then, Ticketmaster, of course, does the tickets. Mm-hmm. So you combine all that into one, and they're a titan. Something like around 70 to 80% of the major US venues are, Live Nation / Ticketmaster venues. And that, of course, has led to a lot of complaints over the years that more recently got started with problems after the Taylor Swift concert went on sale and, the servers crashed and a lot of people didn't get tickets, etc. So now the government is saying that they're just too big and that they're abusing their power. Even though in 2010, less than 15 years ago, the United States government said, sure, it's just fine for Live Nation to merge with Ticketmaster. So, it's kind of a beast that was approved by the US government, and now it's trying to take it apart.
Yeah, that is the most fascinating part to me, and I feel like a lot of people, is that the US Department of Justice okayed this merger not too long ago, and now they're trying to break it up. And kind of like what you said, Mark, they really have a hold on this business because they get you on the beginning, they get you on the tickets, and then you show up at the venue and it's their venue. So they've really 360'd this whole thing. Now, how exactly did Taylor Swift's Eras Tour play into this again?
Yeah, so it was November-ish, 2022. Those tickets went on sale, and obviously there was a lot of people who wanted them, and there were a lot of bots who wanted them too. So in effect, what you had was just probably millions of different people, and again, bots who were trying to purchase tickets at the same time for like a Taylor Swift show in Arizona or like in California or Texas or wherever. And it was mayhem. Everything crashed. People waited forever and they weren't able to get tickets. That just led to a lot of new scrutiny on Ticketmaster and Live Nation. That was actually something that was kind of new for them. Their technology had worked pretty well. That had been one probably positive thing for most consumers, is that, typically when they logged on, they could get tickets. But then that started happening, and it just led to increased pressure that led to people looking at these other issues that are involved with the companies.
Mm-hmm. And as is anything, Taylor Swift being a catalyst for change in yet another industry. But it's something else I wanted to hit on today. Katherine, we do talk a lot about how Ticketmaster and Live Nation affect us as fans and audience members, people who buy tickets. But do you know how they affect the performers, the artists and such as well?
Yeah, so according to the complaint that was filed, artists sometimes have to use Live Nation's tour promotional services, or they can't perform at company-operated venues. And because Live Nation controls 265 concert venues in North America, including 60 of the top amphitheaters in the United States, that's pretty limiting.
Yeah, very limiting, considering once again that they have to go under Live Nation when they're performing their concerts. And if they do not, then they can't perform at many venues. So another big reason why this is being considered quite monopolistic.
Exactly.
So Mark, how long is this case going to go for, you think?
I mean, potentially a long time. It depends on if they reach a settlement, which is probably what will happen. If the U.S. Justice Department has the goods and, Live Nation realizes this, then more than likely they'll come up with some settlement along the way. But even in that case, it would take a long time, years probably, certainly at least a couple. But yeah, it's definitely not going to end anytime soon. But to me, I think what's interesting about this complaint is that the genesis of this new backlash was Ticketmaster, which is like a subsidiary of Live Nation, obviously. Mm-hmm. But this case is more about Live Nation. And regardless of what happens in this case, I don't think it's actually going to, fix the underlying problem of consumers being angry about fees and expensive ticket prices. Because as I've reported on Ticketmaster before, their clients, they're not us. Their clients are the venues and the artists who want to make as much money as they can, right, which means higher fees and higher ticket prices. So I have my doubts that this is going to be something that actually pleases the public when it's all said and done.
Yeah, strange thing about this, Justice Department is filing, but I believe we will not see any of the justice on our end, it looks like.
Potentially, at least.
Yeah, well, considering that Live Nation has also, another big thing, spent lots of money recently in lobbying as well. So I'm surprised this antitrust lawsuit even went through to begin with.
I mean, it goes to show the pressure that was put on them by Taylor Swift fans. That really is what catalyzed this. And there's been, lawsuits against Ticketmaster before. Pearl Jam, famous lawsuit from the 90s, and there was a lot of antitrust scrutiny of them even back then. But this was something new to where it's bipartisan. It's everybody's united against Live Nation at this point.
Swifties against Live Nation. I like it.
That's right. Get that trending. Get those fees down, Swifties. Thank you very much. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go get yourself signed up at thehustle.co/email, and we'll see you Sunday. Hey, everybody, I got a great podcast to tell you about. It's called Truth, Lies, and Work, and it's brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. On this show, you can join husband and wife team Al and Leanne Elliott as they dispel myths, impart wisdom, and answer all your questions about finding, keeping, and motivating great people. They actually just did an episode with John Smith, who is the manager and agent of famous Argentinian soccer player Diego Maradona. He talks about in this episode how he was able to manage the global superstar, athlete, celebrity that Maradona is and was. It's a great listen. You better get out there and check it out. And you can listen to Truth, Lies, and Work wherever you get your podcasts.